Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Political Science Study Hub. Yesterday I have posted uh, on Plato. Today I am going to talk about Aristotle. In this video I am going to cover introduction, state, family, property, slavery, citizenship, theory of justice and revolution thought. Aristotle was student of Plato and he is known as the father of political science. He was born in Greece. He lived between 384 to 322 BC and he said political science as master of all science. Why? Because in political science it says about the goal of the human being and other sciences says how to achieve that goal. So it makes political science different from other sciences and therefore he called it political as master science. His school name is Lyceum. Plato's school name is Academy and his is Lyceum. Now Aristotle's state. For Aristotle, state is necessary as well as natural for human being. So he has told state as natural for the living of human beings. For living a good life, formation of state is required. He calls state as community of communities. Why? I will say later. State is moral and natural institution, means it's natural. Naturally, state will emerge if there are human beings. Man and woman together set up a family. The expansion in family in many branches leads to the formation of village community. So first there is a formation of family. When man and woman meet, they forms a family. Then there are many families which are formed, and after the formation of many families we get village or a society. So from family forms the society, and then a combination of several village communities or societies result into the formation of city or state. So that's how Aristotle has said about the state, that first a family will be formed when man and woman meets, and then after that a society or a village will be formed, and after that from the society comes state. So this is how Aristotle has linked a state. Man is a political animal according to Aristotle. This is asked in various exams, that who has told that man is political animal? Aristotle has told it. He formed organic theory of state and considered individual and state as organ and organism. How? There are various organs in our body and they have different purposes. Heartbeat, pumps and etc. so on. So they works properly for whom? For us. We are alive, our organ works. If we are not there, our organ is of no use. So if individual is not there, then how a state can be formed? Without individual, state is useless. So they are connected. Aristotle told who don't live in a state may be God or beast. It was his thinking that it is necessary and natural for everyone to live in a state. State is value based institution. Values are there in a state. Then we come to family, property and slavery. You remember in Plato's class I have told that according to him The people should not keep any family or property, because that leads to corruption according to Plato. A person should be devoted to the state, welfare of the state, and he should not have anything that may distract him from the doing welfare of a state. It was Plato's thinking. Let's see what Aristotle have told about family and property. So first, property. His theory is mainly criticism of Plato's theory of communism. I told you just now what was Plato's theory. Property provided satisfaction by fulfilling the human instinct for possession and ownership. So for satisfaction of human, there is requirement of property. This is according to Aristotle. So he is opposite of Plato, his own teacher Plato, but he is thinking differently. Man must eat, be clad, and have shelter, and in order to do so, he must acquire property, individual ownership of land, and common use. Property ought to be generally and in main private but common in use. This was thinking of Aristotle. Now we come to family. Family also he has given very much importance, because in formation of state only we have seen a state, how a state is formed. First family is formed, then only. So family is an institution where an individual is born, is nurtured, gets identity, gets his name, and attains intellectual development. So how a development happens according to Aristotle? Through a family. But in the case of Plato, we have seen how a development is occurring through education system, that also from birth only. They are separated from parents, from family. But Aristotle have a different thinking. Family is first school where child gets lessons of quality such as cooperation, love, tolerance, and sacrifice. See, family is only place from where person learns from the first, for the first time. We hear this only, that the first education, first teacher is mother. So family is given importance by Aristotle. Family consists of husband, wife, children, slaves, and property. It involves three type of relationship: that of master and slave, marital, that is husband and wife, and parental, between father and child, mother and child. The master, Aristotle held, rules the slaves. He rules the wife. Aristotle regard women inferior to men and incomplete men. Okay, Aristotle has differentiated between men and women. He have not told them equal. Okay, according to Aristotle, women should work in house, should do household works only, and father rules the son. So father is given very much importance. Father is the master. He rules over the slave. He dominates the wife and also rules over the son. Aristotle wanted to keep women within the four walls of the house, as I told, for only household work and reproduction. For him, man is the head of the family. And Aristotle said man is superior to woman, wiser than slave, and more experienced than children. So how much importance he has given to man, you can see here. Aristotle makes family the very basis of state. I told in the first slide only, we have seen that from families only state is formed. So it is given importance. Now we come to slavery. Slavery, which in fact was the order of the day, Aristotle writes that for that some should rule and others be ruled, is a thing not only necessary but very important from the hour of their birth. Some are marked out to be subjection, others for rule. He has told slavery is also very important in state. There will be someone who is master and others would be slaves. Superior will rule over inferior. And Aristotle justifies slavery on the ground of expediency. Legal slaves should be made free and natural slaves should be there. Now views on citizenship. A good citizen must work towards not only welfare of state but also perform various other duties. A citizen, if one person have to become a citizen, It is not necessary that he reside over here there only, or he has taken birth in that place only. It is necessary that he takes part in the works of the government, judicial office, administration. And Aristotle has denied citizenship for foreigners, slaves, and women. Firstly, he has not given very importance to the women. He have told them inferior, and again he has denied to give citizenship also to women, slaves, and foreigner. So he has given more importance to men. To acquire citizenship, a person should be competent enough to participate in judicial and deliberative functions, and also have capacity to rule and be ruled. See, I told they have to take part in the judicial officer's work to become a citizen. He denies citizen to women and slaves. Okay. A good citizen should not only work toward welfare of state but also do the duties. Now we come to the theory of justice. See, in Plato's we have seen that there were 4 virtues according to which justice is served if they do their work properly according to their capabilities, like traders, peasants do their work, army work for army, and the philosopher king. And what is justice for Aristotle? Aristotle has divided justice in two forms: universal justice and particular justice. The former, universal justice, refer to obedience to rule, that one should be virtuous. Okay, everybody should obey the rule, and when rule is being followed by an individual, that is only justice. Particular justice is of two types: distributive and remedial or corrective. Distributive justice implied that states should divide or distribute good and wealth among citizens according to the merit. Okay. What is distributive justice? There is distribution of all the goods according to the wealth of a citizen. Okay. How much rich? He will get that much goods only. And what is the second one? Remedial justice is again divided into two. Dealing with voluntary transactions, that is civil law, and dealing with involuntary transactions, criminal law. Okay, here law comes civil law and criminal law. Aristotle added commercial and cumulative justice to the above mentioned type of justice. Now we see distributive justice. Aristotle has told that this is the perfect form of justice for a state. Okay, this is the most powerful law to prevent any form of revolution, as this justice believe in proper and proportionate allocation of offices, honor, goods and services as per their requirement, being a citizen of state. A citizen of the state who is rich, he have some desire and that will be fulfilled, and the poor one have desire that will be also fulfilled. Now he has talked about natural inequality also, that equals should be treated equally. Okay, Aristotle has said this, that who are equals should be treated equally. This I forgot to write. And who are unequal will be also treated unequally. Unequal should be treated unequally. When this happens, equals are treated equally and unequal are treated unequally, then only justice is there. So this is the thinking of Aristotle. Equals treated equally, unequals treated unequally. Now, corrective justice. All laws related to commercial transaction are dealt within the remedial and corrective justice. It aims to restore what an individual has lost due to injustice of the society. Okay. Any loss is there, so who will work for that? Who will look after that loss? The state. Corrective justice. Aristotle also said that corrective justice relate to commercial activities such as hire, sale and furnishing security. Now, what is the saying of Aristotle on revolution? He has studied nearly 158 constitutions that help him understand the implication of revolution on political system. In his book Politics, he has discussed at length about revolutions. Now, first, what are the causes of revolution according to him? According to him, there are mainly two causes, general one and particular. Now, what is a general cause? So, according to him, revolution takes place when the political order fails to correspond to the distribution of property. Okay, when the government fails to distribute the property, and hence tension arises in the class structure. Eventually, that leads to the revolution. What is revolution actually means? A change, and not a change that happens up after 5 years or 10 years. Sudden change that happens, that is only known as revolution. The cause of revolution is a desire on the part of those who are devoid of virtue and who are motivated by an urge to possess property, which in the name of their opponent. In other words, the cause of upheaval is inequality. Particular causes. What are the particular? In general, though, is that distribution is not done properly. That is general one. Distribution of goods, inequalities arises. And what is particular? Apart from general causes, Aristotle gives certain specific causes in various type of state. For instance, in democracies, this contentment is bred by demagogues who attack the rich either individually or collectively and build hatred among the people, who become revengeful and violent, and this situation leads to conflicts. Okay. In oligarchies, revolution occur when masses experience an unpleasant treatment by the official, resulting in dissension within the governing class. Personal dispute may further the flame of fire, and though imperceptible changes in the class structure of society may invisibly alter the ethos. Okay, he has talked about in democracies also conflict arises, and in oligarchy also conflict arises when what the things people want they are not getting properly, or they are being dominated or tortured, then only revolution takes place. So, what are the methods of prevention of a revolution? The stability of constitutional system. Okay, when there is stability in the political system, then there will be good life and progress. Okay. As a general rule of stability, Aristotle has told there should be administration of polity. What is that? The rule of the middle class should be there. Okay, so there is stable condition. Not very rich, not very poor. Middle class should be there. And then balanced system will cause less revolution. Less chances of revolution would be there when there is a balance. Law should be respected. Everyone should follow law, and they will get justice. Education policy also can help in reducing revolution. This was some of my points. And what are the books written by Aristotle? There is a few I have noted down. You may search more if you want. Nicomachean, Ethics, Metaphysics, Politics is one of the very important book of him. Physics, On the Soul, the Politics. So this was all for today's class. Thank you for watching. Keep supporting me.